Hey guys, we recorded this episode at the beginning of the year, and unfortunately, before we managed to release the episode, Bistro Amande has announced they closed their doors for good. These news are very sad because the restaurant was really nice, we really enjoyed it, but we anyway decided to release this episode since the conversation was not only about the restaurant but also about Chef Juho Rajamäki, about his experience in Tampere, about how he has seen the restaurant scene grow and evolve through the years. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and let's go straight into it. There we are.
Here we are.
Boom, boom, boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new year.
Oof, are we already here?
We're already here. I think this will be our second episode of this season.
Second episode, and a really nice way to continue and start the year.
Yes.
Because we started off with a rough one. In a
what?
sauna.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The sauna one. Yes. But we have a very special guest here today. We're at the Bistro Amande. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Amande. And
Amande.
It's, actually, well, it's a French word.
Okay.
And translates to almond.
Almond.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's Amande.
I thought it was a name, like
Yeah.
your ex-wife or something.
No, sadly.
No.
But actually, there's a funny story of the behind the name that when we started, thinking about the restaurant and thinking about the name, and Joni, my colleague here, the owner, we talked about it, and he said that it would be we need to have a French name, obviously, for a French restaurant, but also it needs to be easy to pronounce for Finns. So there's a funny story after that we tried to get Amanda here. She's our head chef, and Amanda's nickname is Manteli. So,
Okay.
and also Amanda is Amande.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that the name comes from there. So we kind of hooked her here by giving the restaurant her name.
Like, you can't go nowhere after that.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. So there's like a timeline of chef kind of like 6 degrees of separation here. So I remember when I first worked here at Cafe Pispala, Ilmer used to work at Cafe Pispala for a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know that.
Yes.
Yeah, then he went off and then did his own thing, and we're all happy for him.
Yeah.
And then you were at the Four Seasons. Tell us about the Four Seasons in Kapali, because that place is legendary.
Yeah, well, I was 8 years in Kauppahalli with Joni in Four Seasons as a head chef there. Well, like you said, it's kind of like an institution here
It
in
is.
Tampere. So it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
classic. It's couple of years before Corona, there was this Nordic White Guide that ranked 250 best restaurants in the Nordic countries, and the Four Seasons was Le Quatre Saisons was the only lunch restaurant on the 250 best Nordic restaurants in the Nordic countries. And like I said, it's an institution.
Yeah.
It's known for its well, obviously they change the menu every day,
Yeah.
so it cannot be fully French, otherwise
Of
you
course.
run out of your portions.
Yeah.
But they mainly do every technique and everything is French. So
Yeah.
it comes from
Yeah.
there. And it's been there after a couple of weeks, 20 years.
20 years.
I think it's 14th of January. It's been or 15th, either of those. It's been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those places that if someone asks you where should I go for lunch when they're visiting,
100%.
you always point to that place, right?
Yeah.
You know it's guaranteed.
Yeah. And like what I liked about the place was that, I moved there 10 years ago, and that was one of the only places where you go to Kapali and, traditional Finnish lunch food, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. Where that place is like, oh my God, like everything is made fresh. Everything is made like, you got the seafood restaurant right there. You got the butchers right there,
Yeah.
produce right there. So everything is locally sourced and everything.
That was the idea in the beginning when Joni started the restaurant 20 years ago. That why it's in Kauppahalli is in the market hall is the idea that everything is there. So obviously, when we go years forward, it grew a little bit bigger. The restaurant, what it was in the beginning, was just a small place, but it grew up really big.
Yeah.
So now there's a lot of suppliers that are used, but at the beginning, and still a lot of vegetables, fish, a lot of those still come straight. Cheese, everything comes straight from Kauppahalli. So
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Alberto. Can you explain the wine for us today we're drinking?
From Bordeaux.
Okay.
2019 vintage, and I don't know the chateau, but there is a lot of chateau in Bordeaux.
Okay.
But it's a Merlot and Cabernet Franc.
Yes, merci. Thank you.
Very easy.
Yes, very easy drinking.
yeah,
Yes,
like classic Finns say, it's dokabiliteetti on hyvä. So it means that it's easy to get drunk with.
On Doka Village.
So does got the Negro, but
I'm highly against that.
I know.
that
It's
idea,
way
but
better than
yeah.
got the Negro for the record. But we haven't introduce yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm Juho Rajamäki. So this is my restaurant. I'm the other owner. So Joni is the one that owns with me the restaurant. And Joni is the one that started the Four Seasons in Kauppahalli, and we wanted to start this restaurant to bring people in Tampere to have a like proper French bistro. There's a good
Exactly.
bistros in Tampere, but not a French one. So that was the idea that we talked years ago. Before I was in Kauppahalli 8 years ago, I used to work for Arto Rastas for a long time.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Really?
okay. I was doing as a chef in Tampere and Finlands for quite a long time, and then I moved to Arto. There's a funny thing that people said that I was the right hand of Arto Rasta, so I did everything what Arto didn't have time to do.
Yeah,
So I was in Helsinki in the Culinary Institute, working there as a head chef. Then I was in Villa Hakkari in Lempäälä, the mansion, doing summer seasons with weddings and everything. Yeah. And I was opening up the Dining 26, which is over there.
Okay,
Or
I didn't know
24.
that.
What is it? 26?
26, yes.
I can't remember this years ago. But I was doing after I left from Tampere and Finlands, I did everything for Arto. And before that, places I went for a while in Paakari or Ilpo. I was in Tiiliholvi at the beginning. And then while I was in Helsinki, I did a lot of. I was in Top Chef, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in
Wow.
Top Chef.
I was wondering why you look so familiar.
I was also in did a couple of TV shows for this MTV. Mitä tänään syötäisiin, this morning, in the morning show,
Talk
these
show, yeah.
cooking things and demos and stuff like that. So I did a lot of those things before I had a couple of kids. And my wife said that you have two decisions: either you pack your shit and leave, or you find a job that you're more home. So it was all quite easy after that, and I had a good luck and got a place from Four Seasons. That's kind of the story.
Yeah.
Nice. So, like, in your 10 years here, because we've been here about the same time, like, how have you seen the food scene change in the 10 years?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
For me, like before I was here, 20, almost 30 years ago, there was a couple of good places then, and now there's a lot. And for my opinion, Tampere is one of the most, interesting food scenes now in Finland. I have talked a lot with my colleagues in Helsinki, also in Turku, and people in Turku tell me that it's not so, obviously they don't want to say it.
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
They don't want to say that Turku is not as good as Tampere, but sadly it is, or good for us, but sadly for them.
Yeah.
And but it's the same. Helsinki, obviously, it's a big city.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people more to use money for the food, but the diversity of restaurants here in Tampere, I would say, it's almost as good as Helsinki. We have everything. We have African restaurant, we have American, we have French, Italian, you name it. We have a lot of ethnic. We have classic Finns, like old school Finnish restaurants, and there's a lot of different kinds of restaurants here. So, but it has changed a lot, my opinion. And we're now living also in the after Corona and all these expenses, especially
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a restaurant owner,
Yeah.
how things have changed, and a lot of, especially in Tampere, the fine dining restaurants, and those have closed, and we have come more of this casual eating,
Yeah, definitely.
which
I think after COVID, people realized that
You only
The re-
live once.
the restaurants that made it during COVID made it. The restaurant that didn't make it, they didn't make it.
yeah,
And I think there was a shift between super fine dining, because I don't have to name names, but a couple of restaurants here were fine dining, but they had to change their concept because people have less money to spend, less money to go out. Inflation, people are getting hit in their pocketbook everywhere. So it's nice to see that. I know that when you first opened, and I came and eat one day, and then I posted something on Instagram, and then somebody said, "Oh, is that the expensive new French restaurant that's opened up?" No, it's not expensive. Yeah. I saw €12 for bone marrow and escargot. Oh, by the way, we're talking about what you made for us tonight. But the bone marrow and escargot is such a good bargain deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But the idea was in the, I talked about this before Corona. I had a place already, but then we buried it just because of the situation was that there was no reason or nobody wanted to open a restaurant. We didn't know what's going to happen. So I just buried it and let it rest because I had a long time idea of that I want to open a real French bistro when bistro prices and bistro food.
Exactly.
And when Ilmari called me and we talked, that he said I think it was maybe September, said that he's going to close Hellanhuone. That you want to buy it. And I said, fuck no. I don't want to do any more. Fine dining for me is done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do, 16-hour shifts 6 days a week because it's so consuming. So, but I said that I have a ready-to-go concept.
Yeah.
And especially this place because it's on the best restaurant street in Tampere. All the famous restaurants are here, which is, kind of like a free card for us that Napoli is our next door neighbor.
No need.
Yeah, because
Which that's another story. It pissed me off every morning when I see their line here. I'm like, damn it.
for me, I think it's great, but we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I find it's
Spillover.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that they have built that sort of a concept.
Yeah, of course.
You just
I'm
have
not
to,
hating. No need.
bow down. They have
Absolutely.
built that kind of a concept that it's
Yeah.
raining ice.
People waiting like
People standing outside to have a pizza.
Yeah.
But I have to say I'm one of those that, because I've been here when it was Hela Japone, and I'm one of those that walk past, oh, there's a new place. Well, it looks fancy. And I haven't been here because that was my idea. This is like fine dining place maybe. But it's, now that we came, we saw the menu and everything. It's like, this is not what I thought, It's not this like really you have to, consider if you're going to go dine there. Like a lot of people nowadays, as you said, with Corona, they're not going to fine dining as much. I think this is quite affordable and it's like a really great quality.
Yeah.
So, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
There's been in the beginning, not so much anymore, but in the start, there was some customers that came in and thought that they were coming like a reopened Hellanhuone type of restaurant.
Yeah, the perception.
So they didn't know where they were coming from and coming to. And they, in the beginning, they started to check the menu and think about the prices and everything. And it turned out they liked it. But the misconception of thinking about this is a different restaurant, which is good that now people are talking and, starting to know what sort of, we've just been here for 10 months.
Yeah.
So it's a very young restaurant. Very young.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we ate tonight.
Yes, please.
Of course, we picked out very classical French dishes.
Yeah.
So bone marrow and escargot, I never thought that would go together. Well, what is the story behind that?
We were talking about that before because I'm from Mexico, and back in Mexico we have this a lot, and it became very popular lately. And it's something that every time I see it on the store here, and I see it's kind of cheap, I'm very surprised, right? Because back home it's very expensive. And when I was checking the menu, I saw this. I don't know what we order. I don't know what you guys want to try, but I want to order that.
Yes.
Like it immediately caught my eye.
Yeah, it's the story is funny because Joni's father, Bernard, he's born French.
Yep.
And French chef also. Now retired years ago, But when we were starting to think about the first menu in the 10 months ago, when we thought that what we're going to put on the menu, and Bernard said that there's this classic, very old French portion. It's a roasted bone marrow with escargot and garlic butter. And you gratinate it in the oven, you roast it, and so on. But I have studied quite a lot of French cuisine. I have never heard of it. Yoni's been doing schools in France, culinary schools in France, and he said he hasn't heard about it. So we said, obviously, let's try. So Bernard made it, we tested, and we said, definitely on the menu. And it's been, from the start, one of the most sold, starters. That's why it's we changed the list once in 2 months. But there's a couple of portions that stay on the menu because they're so popular. One of those is the escargot.
I need to check my Escoffier cookbook to see if this is in there.
No,
I
I think it's not.
Okay, I'll check it.
Yeah, you can check it. But I'm pretty sure it's not. And it was very surprising to me because I haven't heard it. Yoni haven't heard about it, and nobody knew. And if I don't remember wrong, Bernard says something like it was 60s, 70s. It was quite popular in French, but then it just went away. Obviously, there was this mad cow disease and things like that people stopped using bone marrow. But that was maybe 80s, I think.
Yeah.
So, we brought it back.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a great item.
I'm happy you brought it back.
I would say if someone comes in here after watching this episode, that's
Definitely try it. It was good.
Yeah.
I'm not naturally a fan of escargot. Bone marrow is part of our culture, but definitely, this goes so well together. I could sit and eat a few of those. So I definitely recommend that. Yeah, that was good.
Well, it's fat on fat on
Salt.
that's what the flavor is.
Yeah.
You just put take a little bit of baguette and you put on top. And
Good. And then what else do we have here?
So the mussels, which we do also very classic way. There's white wine roasted, like confit garlic, roasted garlic puree, and
Fennel.
white wine, fennel, parsley, flat leaf parsley. Very classic. So nothing special in it. Just good mussels, and do it fast just to open them up, and classic way. It's like I said earlier when we talked here that I like this way to eat mussels, so they taste natural more than to put cream or tomato puree or chili or these sort of things, because for me after that it's a pasta sauce, which is not wrong, but it's not the way to eat it like this. And then we had beef burgundy. Well, the classic. It's kind of the Finnish version of that is the Karjalanpaisti. It's kind of the French Karjalanpaisti. It's the classic. You saute it long time and you let it simmer, and you there's no the things that I love in the French cuisine. You kind of don't have shortcuts. Time is everything. Making onion soup, you have to let it simmer and low heat and just wait and wait and wait. You get more intense flavors. Same with the making the beef burgundy. You first roast the beef, you marinate it in the red wine, you let it cook overnight, and you caramelize the small onions, and you do step by step and let it simmer, and you don't take shortcuts. If you take, you taste it.
Yes.
So, and there comes the comfort, in my opinion. It's like French, like this classic bistro French cuisine is so comfort food for me. I think it's the one that I like to eat. That's why I want to serve it.
One thing I noted was that the pearl onions. Very important because a little bit of acid. Because it is what these, I know that dish. I was a chef, but what they noted right away was like the sweetness. That they weren't used to. So I think it's from the wine and if I want to guess, tomatoes that you cook down to make it more sweet, right?
And also the pearl onions we caramelized them in sugar and butter.
There you go. So that sweetness also.
So we put it in the butter and sugar, and we caramelized them until you get a nice brown color. That is the one step. Like I said, you don't skip the
small
step.
skip.
So that is the one step.
So
you caramelize
different
them.
layers where if you do every country has a beef stew. In Vietnam, a beef stew. So even in Finland, there's a beef stew, but Finnish Korean beef stew is very different than bringing
Well,
this to.
we were talking about that earlier. That we also have that in Mexico. You just have it's not sweet because we have chili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the sweetness is something I was not expecting. It's very nice.
Yeah, there's the saltiness, there's the sweetness, there's the acid. You know, like in the French cuisine, you have these certain things you have to have in your food. It's the salt, the texture, the sweetness, the saltness, you know, and all these different, you know, flavors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that you bind it to. You have to add a little bit more acid, and you know, the classic way, you know, in the restaurant, you add a little bit more salt always, and you find the perfect flavor. It's every time even though you do it every time with the same recipe, it's still different every time.
Different,
so
yeah.
you have
So
to,
different every time.
you know, adjust
You have
it
to know
all.
that adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting in Vietnam, so like, you know, the French colonized Vietnam for like 100-something years. So in Vietnam, we have a dish that's similar to this. It's called bò kho, and it's the beef stew. Very similar. We use red wine. We use Port names. Difference is we put a star anise in it, and it gives us that Asian flavor, and it's so good. So like star anise in that, it makes it Vietnamese. You know, like that's how I love how history of like food, how a certain country can influence certain food just from one ingredient. Where we made it our own by putting star anise in there. You know,
But it's I think a lot of also in the French cuisine is the thing that by the years, obviously, a lot of, let's say, like modern European cuisine, mainly the beginning of every modern European cuisine comes from French cuisine. You know, the mother sauce.
I hate to admit it, but yeah, it's right.
But it is.
It's true.
So all the mother sauces, everything, you know, they come from French cuisine. But also, in the years' time, a lot of French cuisine has also, or the French cuisine has had influence from different countries because of the colonization.
Yeah.
Like there's French use merguez or harissa, which come from Morocco because they used to colonize it. And, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, influence come from to French cuisine also from other countries.
Yeah.
Also the French use also pasta.
Yeah.
Not often, but they use rice. Like with beef burgundy, it's always with rice. And, you know, they are not quite, well, they are not French ingredients. They come from somewhere else. So I think there is no cuisine in the world that hasn't got influence from anywhere else. So
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I definitely latched onto the sweetness of the stew because when I make when my wife makes Karjalan paise, she does it the traditional way. When I make Karjalan paise, I try to make it a little bit more thicker, and so I fry the onions with a bit of sugar, and then I create a thick sauce around that when you've already done the Karjalan paise, which is kind of like also how I start off my the oxtail.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of similar. So that's why I caught on to the sweetness. I'm like, there's a sweetness that you can tell is from all natural ingredients, but then there's a sweetness that you can tell that this one has a bit of sugar in it. And I was like, but I love it. I think I love, you know, the flavor of the whole thing. So absolutely amazing. That one I'm definitely coming back to eat, but I'm bringing back my wife for the mussels. She loves the shit out of those. Yeah.
there's a lot of people that comes back, especially for the mussels.
Yeah.
That's why it's been also it's one of these. I think we have 3-4 portions that have been from the beginning of the start, from the start, and the mussels, the tartare, the escargot, and the steak minute, because that's super classic French. You know, bistro. The steak minute is the Finnish lehtipipi. You hammer. We use sirloin, sirloin that we beat ourselves, and use French fries and the garlic butter with that. We have changed some butter there, sometimes café de Paris or something, but classic. But that is actually changing on the next list next week. So we will change this to a classic steak for a while.
Okay.
Let's see how people will take it, because there's a lot of people that come here to eat the steak minute. So let's see how they
Do you have
take it.
peppercorn steak?
No. Hell no. But you know, the pepper sauce is also quite.
It's very classic, very traditional. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
joking
very-
because every steak restaurant here has that.
Yeah.
because
That's why we don't have it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we mainly do these classic, you know, different sorts of butters, like Café de Paris, or this is the what is the restaurant manager butter. I think it's the French name. I cannot pronounce it.
Okay.
But the proper name is in the garlic butter. What we do is there's garlic, there's shallots, there's Dijon mustard,
Oh,
there's obviously flat leaf parsley,
of course.
and it's so it's not just garlic and parsley. There's the Dijon and the flat leaf.
Yeah.
And you sauteed everything.
Mouth is watering.
Getting hungry.
Back hungry again.
I wanna ask, because we have asked this before to other guests, but being Finnish and being a trained chef, you have been seeing the food scene change through the years. We have talked about how Finnish people are very open to trying new things, but there's of course certain age ranges that are maybe a bit more adventurous. How do you see it has changed through the years, and why would you think that Finnish people are so open to trying new flavors, and coming to a French restaurant might not be so crazy because, as you said, it's very it has influenced a lot of cuisines. It's more normal. But how have you seen this change?
I think it has changed on the way that the restaurants are coming in. Like you said, Finns are mainly very open-minded for the food because, well, when let's think about the Finnish cuisine. It's boring, sadly. There are foods that I want to eat before I die. My mom makes outstanding, reindeer stew with the mashed potatoes and, these sort of food that are awesome when they're well prepared.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons is that because our own cuisine is quite boring. So I think Finns are more open-minded to try different things, and especially the ethnic restaurants here. Let's say Nanda Devi, people love it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
it's a good Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
That's and there's a lot of good ethnic restaurants that people like, and they are very open-minded to try. That is a different thing. Will they go again? But they're very open-minded to try because, like I said, our own cuisine is quite straightforward, salt and pepper. That's it.
But one thing that also that you have to remember, it also when I learned through Finnish history food is that Finnish food is very young.
Yeah.
Because of the famine, potato famine and all that stuff. So I mean, they're like catching up to the rest of the world as far as like flavors go.
And obviously, a lot of our food has been influenced by colonization of Sweden. They colonized us for a long time. After that, Russia. Yeah. So there's the milk products like smetana or the creme fraiche or all these, kermaviili and these. Mainly everything come from Russia.
Yeah.
But then we have herrings and we have a lot of fish that we use in the similar way that like crab locks, the salmon. So, cured with salt, it's more a Swedish thing. And so we're kind of in the middle of those two older, cuisines that have come and mixed here. Obviously, it's a German-influenced Finland, and there's a lot of different, influences here in Finnish cuisine. Yeah. So I don't know, do we have a lot of our own? Probably not.
Yeah.
Except maybe Karjalan piirakka.
Yeah.
The most pussy-looking food in the world. But
best item in Finnish food, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love them. They're good. Just with the egg butter and oh my god, it's
I've always said
straight from the oven.
The egg butter and that pussy pie is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, it is.
It's the best thing in the world.
Delicious. But these I don't know. There's guys in Finjevel or Magnus Nielsen, who used to own the restaurant called Faviken. He has this very nice book where he has Swedish, Norwegian, and Finnish classic foods like ruisleipä and rye bread and these sorts of things. He has recipes and he has studied of the Nordic cuisines from its base, and I think it's very nice book also to read. Yeah. To understand more of where everything comes from. So, but it's a country where we have a season to grow things for 2 to 3 months in a good summer. So we have to in the years ago, we had to adjust it to grow things that will stay over the cold winter.
Yeah.
To cure, and pickle and these sorts of things to keep the food edible over the years. So
That's what I was telling you about that restaurant in Helsinki, right? The one that I still need to take you to, where they don't use salt, and it's only finished products.
You don't use salt?
They don't use salt because Finland doesn't produce salt. They only make the whole menu off of things that are. Okay.
no.
This is kind of like
We've talked about this, and Tam gets triggered every time.
Every time is that what?
You need to have salt.
I'm gonna look for the name of this restaurant.
That's a little too purist.
We
Too
did
purist.
actually when I was working in Hella and Huone with Markus Fogelholm. Cheers to Markus. We had a really fun time there working together. We made a couple of menus with totally just finished products.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are some things that are really hard, to do. You have to, without salt.
Yeah.
So that is the hardest part. And you can get sugars here, like melassi, which is made from root vegetables, and everything else is almost quite easy except salting. So you have to, be a really open-minded, and it restricts a lot of you. How do you produce food? So, but it's fun in a way. It's it makes you think, and you have to think outside of the box. So
Yeah. But I think with the world now where everything is, you can get everything access through delivery trucks. I remember 10 years ago when I was at Käppispila in wintertime, all the produce that I was getting, pineapples, everything, it was crap.
Yeah.
So I called the tuku. I'm like, hey, why is everything so not ripe and
raw. Everything is raw.
Yeah. And he's like, well, Chef, you have to understand, Finland is up here. All the product is like Mexico, Spain, Italy. So by the time they put it on the delivery truck, Finland is literally the last stop. So,
They get the leftover.
yeah, so your bananas are going to be green. Your pineapple is going to be not quite ripened yet because and I get it. Like the
If they pick it up when it's ripe,
No need.
you get it. It's a ball of mush.
Yeah.
Because it has to stamp delivery. But
Yeah.
let's say like this: the French cuisine is mainly very easy to do with the Finnish ingredients. To use a lot of Finnish, especially vegetables and everything, we use as much as we can in the season time. Also in the winter, what we can have. But as you know, guys, it's impossible to get some of the ingredients. Then we use a lot of French ingredients also, like foie gras. Well, that is, I haven't used it a lot because there's some ethical things that. Oh shit! Yeah.
I was in
it's so
Brussels.
good.
I was up to my knee in fucking foie gras in Brussels. I was like,
I love it. But the problem is that it's that's another discussion about the ethicality. But then there's the quills come from France, the cheese, the escargot. There's a lot of ingredients that we take straight from France. Chocolates.
are the mussels from France?
No, they're actually Swedish.
Swedish, okay. Swedish mussels, okay.
So mainly all of the fish and the mussels and oysters what we have now, it's they come from Göteborg. There's the biggest seafood supplier in the Nordic countries in the south of Sweden, and it's a big producer and it's a big supplier. So mainly all of, I would say 90% of fish and seafoods that come to Nordic countries come from, now especially let's say Sweden and Finland, comes from Göteborg.
Okay.
There's a big market.
Yeah. Like, one thing I noticed when I first started, when you guys were constructing, is this big center showcase you have here.
Yeah.
Which is freaking beautiful. We'll play it on the B-roll, but can you tell us a little bit about this? That's very unique.
Yeah, the idea was when you go to France and you go to Italy and you go to Spain and Portugal, everywhere is those, kind of things where you displace the items what you're serving.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the idea was that it's going to be the centerpiece of the restaurant, but also the idea that the customers can see the fresh products. So you can see that our products are fresh, what we use. Yeah. You can see them, being taken from there. So there's no meat or fish or mussels that are being pulled from
deep freezers.
Yeah. So you can see the products that we're using, that they're fresh and they're new, and it's been taken straight from the counter. So that is also the idea. So it will maybe wake up some appetite to see your products there.
Yeah, as a customer, I noticed it right away when I came in. I was just taking a look before they were setting up. I was just walking there. I was like, yeah, like the bone marrow there. I want one of those. And like they saw the muscles on the other side. And it looks very beautiful and it gives you something to, something will catch your eye right away, right? So it's like, okay, maybe I'll take that.
Yeah, sadly to say, it's quite not empty, but a little bit smaller now than it was a couple of days ago for the New Year's Eve. Obviously, we had a massive day, full booked from the start to the end. So today is a big Misa day to do everything back to mise en place to get the stuff back. But the idea is to display the products. We also have products to sell now. There's foie gras, but we sell our homemade. And there's some apple compote, and there's a duck pastrami still, but we're gonna make some more products there to people to take away. Homemade French products to use at home, so you don't have to make them yourself.
For our listeners and viewers, like the smell of this restaurant is insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
I was telling the guys earlier. I used to work at a French restaurant when I was in varsity in the beginning, and one of the weirdest things that was on the French menu for me was tatata. Is it called tatata?
Yeah.
Do you guys serve that here?
Yeah, the apple tart.
Yeah.
We had that on the menu some point in the maybe October.
Okay.
It's gonna. We'll bring things back.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a seasonal thing. We do things and we bring them back, and we're gonna change the menu next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring some different, foods again back, and But classic, super classic French. What we do here, it's just classic French.
And I like the kitchen setup where, like, obviously the prep is done in the back, but you finish it in the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the service happens in the front. There's the stoves and fryers and everything on the front, so that you can see the chef working all the time. So that's the idea also. And for us, it's the idea that even though we are a classic French restaurant, we don't work as a classic French. So we don't have servers and kitchen. We work together. And that's the idea that when the chef that is preparing or serving is straight next to the servers service, they can all the time talk. So get it more fluent, the movement and everything. That's the idea also.
Communicating.
All the
help each
time.
other out.
You can talk and
like
you
that.
can communicate, and it's more fluent after that.
And it's a
that
trap.
way.
It's kind of a trap as well, right? Because I mean, if you're sitting here and you're smelling how good it smells in here, you just get hungry all the time. You're like, give me more of that. Like, what is he cooking now? Give me a bit of that.
I have to say that kind of dynamic with the kitchen and the server, I think it also improves the service, right?
Yeah.
And because I hadn't been here before, but like the server you have here, I remember being here before, and I remember noting this is very good service.
Yeah, Humberto was working in Hella and Huone also.
Yes.
When I started in Hella and Huone, I think it was 11 or 12 years ago. Humberto came 1 month, I think, after me to work in Hella and Huone. And when our new company bought the business of Hella and Huone, Humberto came with the chairs.
Yeah.
No, but
You had to stay.
it's one of those because I don't know, some people might differ here, but for me, I come from Mexico. It's like a service country, right?
Yeah.
Like service is really, really good. It's always maybe over the top, sometimes a bit too much. So when I came to Finland, I noticed that's not part of the culture here. Not so over the top, not so like maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say friendly, but not so much of like, talking too much and interact too much with the customer. And I see this with my girlfriend who is Finnish. She usually likes the service everywhere. Like she's like, oh, this is fine. But for me, when I notice this kind of service, this is extra. This is really nice because it reminds me of home, a bit more dispersonal, and you get some recommendations. So that for me makes part of the whole experience in a restaurant. Because even if the food is so good, when you don't have that service to complement it, for me it falls maybe a bit short. So when you have everything, the whole experience, it's a bonus.
And exactly, that I think it's it's not about the service in Finland. It's more of the customers, I would say. You know, we Finns are known for our chatty nature, so we like to. We like to chat with foreigners. So I think that is the main reason.
Yeah.
But when you work in a French restaurant or other restaurant, like Humberto is from Cuba. So he, I think it's more of maybe from his culture, but I know a lot of good service side people here in Tampere that are really open and very good.
Yes.
But it also, I think it's the expertise of the service when you know how to read the customer.
Yeah.
If he wants to get extra, or they want to keep themselves more, or so it's for them to read the customer, and that's also some sort of a magic power. So either you have it.
It is,
or
yes.
you don't, and you can practice it. But with Humberto, it's great.
Yes.
And the feedback what we get from service is the best feedback we get here. Obviously, we get a good feedback with the food also. And we have had a really good feedback. I'm really proud that the feedback what we have is I would say 99, let's be honest, 95%.
Yeah, you can't
really
satisfy
good.
everybody.
There's always someone.
Yeah. But it's been really good, and I'm really happy about it. But every time we get reviews, let's say on Google or these table online or these, it's always like, let's say the food is 4.5, but the service is 5.
Nice.
It's always we get the extra half a point from the service, which I'm really happy because, like you said, it's not common in every place that you get really good service.
Yeah, most time they throw the menu in front of you. Moi.
What do you want?
I don't think service
Why
is
are
bad.
you here?
I don't think service is bad generally, but there's
Above and
some
beyond.
places that make you feel more welcome.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
Another one.
Yeah.
You want fries with that?
Ketchup.
But it's I don't blame the service. I blame more of the Finnish culture.
Yes.
Yes.
As we all know, we're the happiest country in the world, but still the most
Quietly
cold.
happy.
Yeah, maybe we're happy because we don't talk to people, so we just keep it ourselves.
I remember this on Reddit. This is a thread on Finnish, and this American that just moved here and say, how can I make conversation with a Finnish person? So I put down, if you see a Finnish person in an elevator, run as fast as you can to be in the elevator with them and make small talk.
They can't get out.
Which is the most unfinished thing ever. And all the people are like, no, why would you do that?
I love I think it was also in the magazines when the corona hit that there was this picture of, we had to, what is this distance that you had to keep 1 meter or something like
the bus
this.
stop.
The bus stop. There was like 5 meters between everything. And my dad said when the recommendations came in that you have to have a 1 meter of distance, then my dad said that why do we have to come 1 meter closer now?
Exactly.
We should when normally it's 2, so why you have to come now 1 meter closer? So
I was saying the same thing as well because I used to live in Sweden in quite a small town, and distancing also there. Like people didn't really want to talk, and then over here in Finland as well, when this whole social distancing thing came, I'm like, I don't think these instructions were for Finns or for Swedes. I think this is for the rest of the world. We were doing this shit a long time ago. This is too much pressure. 1 meter. It should be like 2, 5.
But that's why it went away quite quick here.
Yeah.
Very quickly. I remember friends celebrating their birthdays online.
Yeah.
And then we joined the call. There were someone in France or Belgium, I don't know. Then we joined the call, and it's all of us just in a cabin having sauna, hugging each other. It's like, what, is there no corona there? It's like, well, here people don't get close to each other, so now it's fine.
Now it's fine.
I have a couple of friends which I think is the most Finnish thing is that they don't want to answer the phone.
Oh, yeah.
So if you call them, they don't answer. They send message back, you called.
Yeah, exactly. Who does that? Who calls anymore?
Don't call me. If you have something, send me a message.
Send me a message. Yeah.
So you need to have your own personal space.
That's true.
But I think it's still, the Finns are, like you said, with the food, very open-minded.
Yeah.
Finns are very open-minded for foreign people. They're very interested about foreign people, to ask where you're from or why you're here or,
every foreigner has this feeling or knows this situation, right? That the story of, oh, how did you get to Finland? Why are you here? Kind of thing. You basically can't tell it without even thinking because you've said it so many times. It's just like people are interested to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then when they found out that I came for work, they're like, "What? You
Why?
choose to come here for work, not for a boyfriend or a girlfriend? You came here just to work from Florida, from San Diego, from Hawaii? Are you insane?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh.
But I love it here.
It's cold and horrible here, so
No.
no. I love winter. I'm a winter person for myself. So
Yes.
That's what I had in my old Tinder profile. Like,
I'm a winter person.
Came for the food, stayed for the weather.
Stay for the women.
Oh man.
But anyways, thank you. Are you busy? Do you want to hang around with us for another half hour or so?
yeah,
Where's
that's
the
fine.
podcast?
We can if you
Yeah,
have something to discuss.
usually,
I'm not busy.
usually
I have my chef working here.
Oh,
so.
there you go. Who makes the schedule? Oh, yeah, you do.
No, actually, I even don't. It's my head chef, Amanda. She makes the schedules. And
Oh, okay. So you're good. Yeah. So, well, thank you. I mean, I'm just saying, like, as a friend, also, I'm very happy for you. So I appreciate
Same
what
to
you're doing
you.
here. So, man, you're doing amazing things here. So,
thank you. Same to you.
And,
And all the
fuck,
good.
fuck the Saints.
Yeah, that's a strong opinion from a Patriots guy. So.
I have one more question before we stop with the food topics.
Yeah.
You opened this restaurant, you said, because there was missing some French restaurant in town. Looking to the future, in Tampere, in your opinion, what's something that Tampere is missing?
That's a very good question. A lot of those things that I've been thinking about missing have come up like last year or so. So like there's the new place in the African place in Kauppahalli, which is very nice. I highly recommend people to try. It's what's the name? I can't remember, but it's very close to the entrance to Sokos.
Yeah.
Inside of Kauppahalli.
Yeah.
So it's the very nice place. They do, used plantation banana fries and, all these very nice flavors. I think the guy is from Senegal. Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to train in 4 vuoden aikaa.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of my trainees on the back.
okay.
But he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Makes food with real love. But mainly all of these that I think's been missing is been a lot of like ethnical restaurants, that we don't have here. Obviously, we're still missing KFC. But
And when KFC comes, they're still missing the mashed potato
I know.
for some reason.
I know.
okay, they don't have the mashed
they don't have
potatoes
potatoes with gravy. Yeah,
classic.
gravy.
I'm okay without the mashed potato. I don't see what the hype is with the mashed potato and gravy.
Yeah. But it's I think that's a very good question. But from straight out of my head, I cannot say anything particular.
Yes.
But the more diversity. That is what I think that I'm not a big fan of restaurants that try to do everything for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are for my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of customers that like those places to go with the family, and I have to say I go our to-go restaurant. It's funny to say, but it's I have a couple of small kids, so Pansovilla. It's one of the easiest ones.
It's just easy, yeah.
Yeah, because because you can get I don't say it's good, but you can get everything.
I get it.
You get everybody happy.
Yeah.
Modestly happy.
I take my gang to IKEA.
IKEA.
The
Yeah,
IKEA restaurant.
Yeah,
They-
cheap and good.
Cheap is good.
Yeah.
Like, I can
Juho,
get a rib
I don't know you
and-
anymore. Part of me just died inside.
But also, there's one of the places which I love a lot. This is not a commercial, for being honest, but the bunkers. We go there very often with my wife. My wife is a vegetarian,
Yeah.
so it's really nice, and I love tacos. I fucking love tacos. So I can get my tacos. and
Okay,
my wife-
you're
I'm good again.
Yeah, you're good.
That was a revindication from the Pancho.
So I can get my
Good
tacos,
Dempsey.
and my wife get the vegetarian or the vegan, which is
mix it up.
really good. I love the Hoax also. There's a really good
good.
vegan
I
restaurant.
have tried
so.
a couple of things from Hoax, but every time I go there, it's like, that looks good, but yeah.
I gotta get tacos.
Yeah.
But there's
But it's good that you have choice now.
Yeah,
like
the
10 years ago,
diversity
like
is big.
I didn't have that choice when I moved here 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was either kebab or kioski or
Pizza.
No, there wasn't.
is there
There
fine
wasn't
dining or
industries.
or the lunch restaurants.
Yeah.
But there's nothing.
But it's a lot of in the Finnish. I think the Finnish, this cuisine culture nowadays is that there's 50 sushi places, and after that there's 10.
Yeah.
Then there's 50 kebab places. Then there's 10.
Yeah.
So they
Then
so,
there's
so the better ones survive. Kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
and
Some will
pizza,
survive.
pizza, wings, burgers. Everything comes up and comes down. It's kind of like this mass movement. People go there to try out, and then they go back to their. We Finns kind of love to stay still. We like to try things, but we stay on the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Especially everybody who works in the restaurant knows that the Finns are the best ones. If you have an empty restaurant and one dirty table, the Finns will go there because somebody has sit there already.
somebody
It's a
will
safe
sit there.
place, so it has to be a good place. So I think the Finns are very on this point.
I
they
never
go-
thought of it that way. Really.
Yeah, it's always the.
That must be the
it's-
best table because
And it's been tested out. It's safe.
No need.
It's a
Yeah.
safe place and it's a good place because somebody's been there. And it's always like that.
That's such a good observation.
Yeah.
we-
The seat's warm already.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I've noticed that sometimes when I walk into a place and there's nobody there, you'll see people walk past and be like, oh, okay. And then they'll move back.
Yeah.
But it also depends, right? That
It's the same situation as when you come to a place, it's completely empty, and the next person will come to the next table.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah. You have to be close.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If something happens, maybe he's stronger than I am, so I don't have to wrestle. No. But it's just a weird. All of us are, group animals.
Yeah.
We like to move in a groups, and
I think in Mexico you get the same situation, same behaviors. Yes.
But I have to ask now that I'm guessing we've moved out of the food section here. Because,
whatever.
because I wanted to ask you, what's the most expensive ticket you've ever gotten from driving?
speeding tickets.
Speeding ticket.
Yeah,
or any.
I have a good one.
Okay.
I have a big one. I have a really big one.
Okay.
Before I came to the restaurant industry, I used to work in the metal industry,
Yeah.
and I was working for a company that is did work for Connect Cranes, makes these big cranes
Yeah.
for industry and for harbors and stuff like that. And I was we worked a lot of these urakka. I can't remember what it's in English, but kind of like you have this one thing and you have to do it in a certain period of time. So you worked a lot, including weekends and things like that. And I remember I was doing a night shift. I got home. I used to work in it was maybe 60 kilometers from here, and I used to live in also then I live now with my family in Hatanpää, but I just got to sleep maybe 2 hours sleep. My boss called that my colleague got sick.
Yeah.
So
Come back.
everything is going bad. So come back and come fast. So I decided, okay, let's go fast. Then.
Yeah.
And I had in the 80 kilometer area, I had 147,
Jesus Christ.
and I came opposite to Maya, so the big the police van.
Yeah.
And I saw that they put lights on. I started to turn, and I was so far that I didn't even see them anymore. But I decided, as a good,
Slow down.
cop-fearing person, to stop on the side of the road. And I was actually, for being honest, at least a minute I waited there because I went fast.
Yeah.
So, but they had their radar on, so that's why I know the number. So 147 on the 80, and they stopped me. We had a nice conversation. They was taking away my driver license, but I had this beautiful thing that my boss called.
Yeah.
So I put it on the speaker, and he was yelling straight like, where the hell are you? Get to work. And I said, I'm sitting in the police car. And he said, tell those assholes to give your ticket so you can come to work. There's no time to waste. And
That's such a chef thing to say. I love it. That is such a chef thing to say.
But the cop started laughing, and they said that, okay, let's do it like this. I'm going to write you you can keep your license, but I give you a ticket. And it's going to be a good one, so you remember you don't travel. And I think it was, I was making a really good salary then, which was, the downfall of the ticket, obviously. So I think it was like close to 2,000 euros. It was not 1,800 1,900 somewhere there, but it was a good one.
Yeah. That's crazy because we were just looking at somebody was on Instagram complaining about he got a 900 euro ticket because he overtook a bus into a lane that was now meant for oncoming traffic alone, even though normally it would be like a double-sided lane. Yeah. But then we were also looking at the history of these income-based tickets in Finland, and there's a guy who's been holding the record now for over 5 years.
Same guy?
Yeah. No, what was the specific numbers?
I think he broke his own record now.
Yeah, he broke his own record.
Yeah. So like the last year, 191,000 euros.
Yeah.
For a speeding ticket.
That's a nice one.
So for people listening that are not in Finland, so Finland, they base their fines off from how much money you make.
Yeah.
And so in Finland, all that is information that you can grab from the internet.
Yeah.
So they can grab the information. Okay, so how much do you make? Okay, so your fine is going to be based on that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good system.
I like it.
Until you get the fine.
Yeah.
Then you're like, fuck this.
Touche.
Touche. Yeah.
But yeah, that's true, and it's one thing that I want to say is that talking with Joni about the French culture and thing, every country has this one sin that they're famous for. French complains everything, about everything, and Finns
That's true.
are jealous for their neighbors and for it's this this funny thing always, and that's why we every year. The tax records, you can just go online. And you can, if you wanna, let's say you wanna see my tax records, you can go online, pay for maybe €9 or €10, and you can see all my incomes, which I find ridiculous.
And hilarious.
For my opinion, I don't give a shit what you guys make. It's not it doesn't warm me up in any way.
For me, it's crazy because I come from a country where you don't want anyone to know how much you make.
Yeah.
Because it's really unsafe. So for me, it's crazy that you can just go online and be like, hey, Time is looking like he dresses fancy. Let me see how much he makes.
How much money this guy's making?
I'm surprised there's not more kidnappings in Finland.
I find it insane.
Yeah, it is insane. But it's we all have our sins. Every culture, every country have their own sins. Finns are the ones that are jealous about each other. There's a classic saying that the Finn is ready to pay €100 so the neighbor doesn't get 50. It's the saying, honestly. It's that
now that you describe it, this reminds me of a situation that I have with my neighbor.
But always, you have to have a better car than the neighbor. You have had a little bit bigger balcony or terrace than the neighbor. It's always this, Finns that. It's not all of us are like that. For me, like I said, I don't give a shit what other people make. Good for them.
Yeah. I guess in America, one thing I remember is that my dad always our lawn has to look better than the neighbor's lawn.
Yeah.
The landscaping, everything has to be manicured. I'm like, who cares? I care.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they put new grass down.
Yeah, I gotta hire a new Mexican. Sorry. Sorry, my bad.
But yeah. But that's I think that's just human nature. Because there's a stereotype.
Yeah.
I've heard it before. Especially, I think, from older Finnish people. I had some older colleagues, and we talked a lot about these cultural differences, and they brought that very often.
Yeah.
And but we have that in Mexico, right? We have this saying of I want to see you good, but not better than me. It's like.
But at least you want to see. Finns want to see their neighbors, miserable. Then they're happy.
Oh man,
that's intriguing.
Yeah. But I think that Finland, despite these things, you barely notice it because people don't speak anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like these things. If your neighbor is jealous of you, they're probably just telling the only person that they speak to. So you never find out about it. It doesn't manifest into anything. But this issue about income-based tickets, that's.
I just think
that's socialism.
It's I know, but it's salty as hell, bro.
it's good.
Don't make too much money,
or don't speed that much.
Yeah, probably that's.
Or I'm pretty sure the neighbor of the guy who just paid 191,000 is like, fuck yeah. I he'd drive for a ride.
Dude, if somebody gets a ticket of 180,000 or 90,000 euros. that dude has money to pay it. For me.
he deserves it. Yeah.
I think he's, for being honest, I think the dude is proud for that ticket, to holding a record.
Yeah, they interviewed him.
I would frame that ticket.
Yeah.
Because he had one before.
Yeah,
And if with the one before you didn't learn, I mean,
I know. He's got 3.
you
So
clearly
Is that 3?
he's got 3. In 2018, it was 95,000.
Yeah.
In 2013, it was 65,000.
Yeah.
So
Now it's
he
100
he didn't learn his lesson, which props to him.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy like this could afford a chauffeur. Why are you getting like speeding tickets? But like just, but I mean, who's gonna chauffeur you in a Ferrari? Right?
Maybe it's an anniversary thing.
Yeah.
So, you know.
but then you would miss driving in these beautiful conditions.
Exactly.
I think the best thing if you got caught speeding like a Yugo,
Yeah.
you know, or like a Ford Escort, you know, like
Yeah, exactly. That would
was it a Ferrari? No, it's a Yugo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you have a sports car.
Yeah.
Sports car.
Sports
Miata.
car, Miata. Hey, easy
The
now.
Miata.
Sports car.
But I think the Miata was a nice looking car, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Shoe size.
Sports car for poor people.
yeah. That's one of Tam's favorite cars, right? The Miata. Yeah.
My favorite thing about owning a two-seat convertible sports car is that all my girlfriends and like even my mom is like, that's a selfish car. Because every time we go out in a big group, no, I can only fit one.
Yeah,
All my other
exactly.
friends have like station wagons. And stuff like that. I can only fit one. Can I hop in with you guys?
Yeah.
The car that I took my good ticket with was I had a Volkswagen Golf GTI
Okay.
with ABT. So I imported from Germany.
Yeah.
So it had a little kick. So I think I can't remember, but close to 300 horsepower from the front wheels.
Yeah.
So more than 300 from the engine.
VR6 engine or four-cylinder engine? I think
4
probably
liter.
4 liter. 4 liter.
It was the 1.8
Okay.
GTI,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Nice.
you know, a little bit
I know.
upgraded turbo
I know.
and with
Yeah.
ABT, you know, wheels and bumpers and you know, Recaro insides. And I had my first child. We had our first, my son, 13 years ago almost now. And I had that car, so I had to buy him a Recaro.
Oh yeah,
kids
baby
seat.
seat. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. They sell those.
And,
That's a dope.
And it was fun at that point because I had a huge, you know, couple of bases on the back
Of
on the
course.
trunk,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, UV lights and everything. We made it very nice years ago with my friend, and the problem came that we couldn't fit the trolley. You know, the kids' trolley anywhere.
the back.
Yeah, it didn't fit anywhere.
Yeah.
When we
Speakers are more important.
because we decided that way the trunk that you can fit the Maurakoira, the 12-back beer there.
Okay.
The old one we had with the bottles. You can fit that. And
That's it.
that
was enough.
That was enough.
Yeah.
So, but I had as a young boy, I had also a couple of good cars. So I'm a car guy also.
Yeah,
Now I'm driving
Station wagon.
ID4.
Okay.
You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Volkswagen,
Yeah.
the
That's
electric,
nice. Yeah.
the electric one, and last 4 of my cars being Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sow the hand shines, but everybody knows.
No, I
Tam
used
does
to.
that all the time.
I has done it before, but we edited it out.
Yeah, I won't do it.
I used to work for Volkswagen. I was like in Mexico and Germany, and I have a few Volkswagen cars. First, I got it was a diesel Bento. Then I switched to I had sports, like Jetta Sport. I was like crazy good, and I've been driving a similar car like the Golf.
Yeah.
I went to Germany for work, and they rented us some Golf. Very nice to drive in the autobahn. Like Volkswagen in general drives very nice.
Oh yeah, really
That's
nice.
for
Very
me.
nice
It's been
drive.
always the reason why I like them is the way that it drives. It's
It's built
almost
like a
like a
tank.
train.
Yeah, it's like a tank.
Yeah, reason why.
Yeah.
Wonder why they feel like a tank.
I have no clue.
But it's a really good car to drive. It works really well, and still it's not like Audi or so. You know, the parts are not so expensive to repair, and you know it's a really nice car. And for me, that's why I've been driving Volkswagens. Before that, I had a Passat, and that was a station wagon because of the kids. But now that we don't have to push any trolleys, they're big boys now. So you know, ID4, and it's been working really good, and I like it a lot. So.
Yeah, I also had a Volkswagen Jetta that my wife totaled. She had a car accident with a bank truck in Namibia.
I thought with a
Yeah, no, you know the money carrying vans, that one. So then it got totaled. Then after that, I started driving Audis. I actually liked Audis, but I used to hate what, as actually you say,
Audis,
the parts are
they break down a lot.
expensive.
Yeah, they break down a lot.
But nowadays, Audi uses Volkswagen parts.
Yeah.
So like
They're basically the same. Just
yeah, it's
with the
basically the same.
logo.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Higher end.
parts in Volkswagen that are from Seat.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of if you check you check Lamborghini,
yeah.
you open up some caps, you can see it has Volkswagen
Yeah,
parts
it's
there.
the
So
same.
it's,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same model group.
Yeah.
same group.
Yeah, but then I gave up on Audis also. I was like, I like my 4x4s now. I like to feel like if you're going to get into an accident with a car that's carrying money, that maybe you have a chance of surviving.
Or chance get the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm gonna go online and I'll check your income.
For one bad thing I have to say from the ID4, I'm still a boy.
Yeah.
Like all of us are still boy from the inside. It's a rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
But you cannot lock off the what is it called, luistonesto.
Yeah,
It
the
doesn't.
ABS.
Drive
Yeah.
wheels.
Yeah, you cannot lock it off. You have to open up and take a fuse off.
Yeah.
So there's no button, or you cannot take it off. So in the winter time, it would be nice a little bit, to have fun with. It's a big car. It has quite a
Boys
lot of
will be
horsepower.
boys,
And that is why they don't.
Exactly.
There's no
Yeah,
They
that's
know
why.
that boys will be boys.
Yeah, that's why you don't have the button.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So New Year's Eve. Do you guys have a resolution? Do you guys believe in resolutions?
No.
No.
Keep your New Year's resolution.
I have one. I will. I joined a gym last year,
Yeah.
last October.
So you'll start to go.
I've been there 5 times,
Since when?
and 4 times been in sauna.
Okay,
Because it's
okay.
the cheapest sauna in Tampere in the center, so I use it for the sauna. But this year, I'm actually going to try to go to the gym more.
Yeah.
That's my resolution.
Yeah, I didn't take that as a resolution, but I'm there with you. I think that health is wealth, guys.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we're getting some exercise in. So I also joined the gym, Tam,
Okay.
like a month ago. And I've been there twice.
So your record is actually better than Taz.
Exactly. I've been there twice, but it's lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah,
and you tend to forget how good you feel after you've been to the gym. So I guess
That's true.
I hate going to the gym, but I like the feeling after.
Yeah.
And I like to eat like this, so
Yeah. Especially if we're going to be eating like this every week. We need to be going to the gym, bro.
I know, man.
I didn't make also. I made my resolution already in a couple of months ago. I have had some health concerns. Been seeing doctor for I don't know, can't remember 20 times now in 2 months. So nothing, alarming. Let's say like this. But for me, I haven't drinked in a couple of months now.
Good.
And
That's good.
changed my eating habits to eat more healthy and some of these things. So I made a resolution also then that I will start to take care of myself better.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
man.
just like I said, I have 2 kids, and this is fuck the restaurant.
Yeah,
being
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
it's I love this.
Exactly.
I love this to
Yeah.
death, but it's still work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always have to keep mentally and physically ourselves in a good shape for us, but also for the others around us.
I think that's one of the biggest struggle in the restaurant business is mental health and like your body.
Yeah.
And people take, oh yeah, it's a badge of honor. I'm gonna drink till 4 a.m. and blah blah blah. Nah, man, it's gonna build up your body and it's good. Like you pay your dues, you do when you're younger, but when you get older, especially when you have kids, you have to start thinking about you want to be there for your kids.
Yeah, and also for myself. I'm turning 41 now, so I'm not an old guy. Well, not a young guy anymore for doing 12 or 16-hour shifts in the kitchen anymore. But also, I'm not a young guy anymore, or old guy still to make a difference for myself to either live a healthier life and also longer life. Hopefully, we'll never know what tomorrow brings, but still, I want to be there for my my sons and for my wife and for friends and everything. So that was my resolution. It kind of came without my own point of view. It came from the doctor.
Of course.
But it's a good one.
It's a good one.
nonetheless.
I think it's even better one.
Yeah.
It tells you that okay, it's time to stop.
Exactly.
It's time to stop and think life through a little bit differently. I think it was a good thing for myself.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's great. Cheers to that, man.
On that note, yeah.
Cheers to that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Chef, for being here with us today. I think it was
you,
very
guys.
informative, very fun.
Yeah.
Very.
This was good.
Wow. What's next for you?
Let's see. We'll
Okay.
get this running.
Is there anything in a pipeline you want to tell us about? No, yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
Let's say that the thing is that I want to get this restaurant well and running. That's the only thing in this economy. It's not easy, but I'm really happy for the amount of customers that we had, and it's been growing all the time. And I hope the January still will be good and continue growing. And we had a really hard but a good year last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you know, the couple of first years of the restaurant is hell always.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Shoveling through that, I think this is the one thing that I want to go forward now, and we'll see what the future brings. I'm always open for everything. Tam has been telling me for I don't know how many years that let's open a restaurant. And when you're opening your next one, call me. But always open for different ideas, and I think for all of us to keep moving forward in our lives is one of the things, to keep us going.
Yeah.
If we stay put, we don't, we stay put and we don't develop ourselves. So I think that's one thing.
I think what you said about to me, what I look forward to every year is how fast Tampere is growing.
Yeah.
And that to me is if I feel that it was stagnant, I would probably move. But I mean, I was here for a 1-year contract, and 9 years later, I'm still here because I still see the growth in Tampere. I still see opportunities for everybody.
Yeah.
And Tampere is about to get even bigger, just in terms of the tram is going now all the way to Lielahti. It's starting in February. So that connection as well, because Lielahti Keskus is growing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of restaurants and spaces that is popping up over there, and your access time from the city center to Lielahti is going to drop from with the bus it was 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it's going to drop down to under 10 minutes, just so
But it's Lielahti.
Lielahti.
Tam doesn't leave the citizen.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood. But tram number 3, or is it tram number 1? So the one that goes from Taos is going to go all the way to Lielahti.
Yeah.
And we will have a new one in a couple of years from Pirkkala.
Exactly.
Yes.
That'd be a nice one.
And Hatanpää and Härmälä goes through there. And my wife works in Taus, so it's very easy for her. After that, we live in Hatanpää, so just to
Perfect.
jump to the tram and get straight to the hospital. So it's very easy for her.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that one. I live in Petsamo, so it's
That's
awesome.
far away.
That's
Far away.
Well, Juho, good luck this year with your fantasy football.
Fuck off.
Yeah, best of luck with the league.
No, that went to shit already. So in the beginning,
Before we leave, one last thing.
Yes.
If we want to know more about Amande,
Yes,
where can we check the menu or check your updates?
yeah. So the classic website is amande.fi. You can find the menus there, and from classic Facebook, Instagram, you can check those. We informed there for the menu changes and events and everything that is going on, and the lunches, and there you can find us, and for everybody to come and drop by and
And
say
if you're waiting in line at Pizza Napoli, just come over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Just please come over here.
You don't need to freeze out there. It's right next
You
door.
don't need to wait in line. Just come over here. Hey, thank you.
Thank you,
for
guys.
following on.
Thank you so much. Check us at unfinishedpodcast.com. That's unfinished with double N. Anything else, guys?
Nope. Merch coming soon.
Yes, we've got some surprises coming soon.
Okay.
But we'll keep you updated on that. And you can also follow us on our Instagram, on our YouTube. Remember to subscribe, ring the bell so that you can get notifications, and do all that other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tinder, Grinder, OnlyFans. We're on there, so.
Yeah.